Beat up and banged up with some serious bad luck, Oklahoma looks to return to national prominence in 2010. Mark Rogers TV looking at the Sooners, just 8-5 last season, but they were so much more talented than that. Nicked up on defense all over the place, missing the best receiving tight end in college football, Jermaine Gresham. He didn't play it down. And of course, Heisman Trophy winner from 2008, Sam Bradford, missed the meaningful minutes in all the big games. So the Sooners, 8-5, a down year for them. But it looks hopeful for 2010 for contention in the Big 12 and possibly beyond. Landry Jones, in Bradford's absence, took the reins at quarterback as just a freshman, turned in a very solid season. 3,200 yards, 26 touchdowns on the plus side. He did have some rough spots in there, including a 5-interception performance against Nebraska. Landry Jones should be better in 2010. DeMarco Murray's always good, always explosive when he's on the field. He sometimes has some injury problems, and he looks to turn in a stellar senior season. And DeMarco Murray, one of those names in Oklahoma annals, right along Billy Sims and Keith Jackson. It seems like DeMarco Murray's been around forever. He has scored 35 collegiate touchdowns. But if he can't show up every Saturday, Brennan Clay steps in, a top running back recruit from the state of California, the first prep product from California to rush for 1,000 and receive for 1,000 in a high school career. Brennan Clay, remember the name. At wide receiver, Oklahoma's got its smallest player, but maybe its best player, in Ryan Broyles. 89 receptions last season, a Sooner record, 15 touchdowns receiving. He's also one of the best punt returners in college football. Ryan Broyles just needs to protect that 5'11", 178 frame. He missed 2.5 games last year. On the other side of the formation, the Sooners have the antithesis of Broyles and DeJuan Miller, a big 6'4" target. He really came into his own down the stretch last year, had a big Sun Bowl, and finished with 36 receptions. DeJuan Miller is the New Jersey Sprint champion. He's got loads of talent. And Jazz Reynolds, the sophomore, he's not too shabby either as a third option. Up front, the Sooners lose the All-America Trent Williams, and they're going to have to replace him with the anchors at tackle. You've got Donald Stevenson and Corey Brandon, and one of the best centers in college football in Ben Haburn. Now we look at the defense for Oklahoma, and again, they lose the big guy up front, Gerald McCoy. He's gone, but Adrian Taylor has been a monster at times, especially going back 2 seasons to the championship game against Florida. He was a mountain in the middle. Adrian Taylor, though, broke his leg against Stanford in the Sun Bowl. He's got to return to full health. Then you've got Jamarcus McFarland. He hasn't played it down in college football. Why are we talking about him? He is one of the top 5 players recruited in college football, regardless of position. He could make an impact, along with Jeremy Beal, who's already made an impact with 11 sacks in 2009. But the heart, the soul, the smarts of this defense, Travis Lewis at linebacker. He's led the Sooners in tackles the past 2 seasons. Look at the secondary, and Oklahoma, of course, has players. Sam Proctor and Quentin Carter make up a tremendous safety tandem, one of the best in the Big 12 outside of Austin. Jonathan Nelson, he could be the key to the secondary being either good or spectacular as he completes the conversion from safety to cornerback. At kicker, Oklahoma's got 2. They got Stevens and O'Hara. They went 11 of 13 and 6 of 9 respectively, so they're battling it out for that kicking spot. Then, of course, we know who the coach is already, Bob Stoops. Much maligned despite a 2000 national championship and despite always contending nationally and especially in the Big 12. Those BCS bowl losses give his detractors some fodder, but 117 wins, just 29 losses for Bob Stoops. He has built Oklahoma back into a power in the last 10 years. Interesting schedule. It starts with Utah State on September 4th, but later, Florida State and Cincinnati on the slate for Oklahoma. So the Sooners could return back to the top of the Big 12 in 2010. Mark Rogers TV as we continue through college football with more previews.